I try and be a real parent. Right? And what I mean by that is try and be real. If I'm a little bit selfish during the birth of my child, I'll tell you, but I'm never going to claim to be perfect. I hate fake social media parenting. Make it seem like they're amazing parents. And what they do is they do this thing where they say things their kids have said. They post things that their kids have said. Oh my God, my son just said this and this is mental. And it's always some like socially conscious woke point that this 3-year-old has made. And you know that 3-year-old didn't say it because you met that 3-year-old. And that 3-year-old is a fucking idiot. Last time I saw him, he was eating a pair of socks with a knife and fork and wearing potato waffles on his feet. So I don't know if he's making statements like that. You know what I'm talking about? It's parents who will say things their kids have said, so you think, oh, you've raised them so well. And then they blow up. These posts blow up. You know, some woman, you know, being like, was driving my daughter through Belfast earlier, and she said to me, Mummy, can I ask you something? And I said, darling, you can ask me anything. In brackets, that's a relationship we have. She said, Mummy, is that a man or a woman in the car beside our car? Is it a man or a woman? Because I'm not sure. And I said, yes. And she said, Mummy, thank you. I guess love is love. 12,000 likes. And you know it didn't happen, you know?
You know what I saw the other day, I watched the other day, is The Notebook. You ever seen that, young people? Yeah, you know The Notebook, man? It's a very high standard of romance, very high. Ryan Gosling rowing through a lake of swans, you know, gets out, kisses his true love in the pouring rain, and they make love in like a farmhouse with piercing light and shit. That's like, it never works like that, does it, when you try and do something right? If that was real, he'd be rowing through a lake of swans, one of them would peck him, and he'd be like, what the fuck? The dude who gave us the boat said they wouldn't do that, man. It kind of fucking pisses me off, if I'm honest. Rogan reckons if you hit him in the right spot, you can get out and it's pouring rain. She's like, what the fuck? Did you check the forecast? Like, what did you... Like, she's blaming you. They always do. And then... Blaming, what the fuck? And then you get, you know, then they get into the house and they go to have sex and it's real. Like, you see Ryan Gosling get his dick out and she goes down on him. It's like, yeah, oh, and he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, show me your feet. I want to see your feet. It's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, show me your feet. Come on, put them together like a feet pussy or whatever that is. It's like, what? What are you talking about? You're into feet? What, you making me feel ashamed of what I'm into? You didn't mention, I don't need to mention, oh, I've already come. Fuck! Fuck! I didn't want to come. Fuck! It's okay. It's not okay. I don't mind if you come, like, you fucking do! I'm going to kill a swan. I'm going to fucking... Don't take premature ejaculation out on animals. You know, like something a bit more... realistic, you know what I mean? Are you single, bro? You are? Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, man? Yeah. You want to love, but you've been hurt. And you've got that pain or whatever, and then, you know, because of that, you push people away, but you want to love them, but you can't accept that love. You need it, you crave it, in fact, but you never open up from that past pain to experience true intimacy. Yeah, well, never been a problem for me, but I'm sorry to hear that. But for you young people, man, you just got to remember, you know, fucking dating is harder for women. We got to remember that. Like, I was on a date with a woman, we were in a secluded area, and she turned to me and went, don't kill me. So you see how that might be harder. And, you know, I don't know what the answer is there to make you feel comfortable. Like, I was like, I won't. Like, I chased her a little bit. I chased her a little bit as a joke, as a fucking joke for a second. And it kind of lifted. Can we agree on this? there's a fine line, ladies, between creepy and romantic. Would you say that's fair? Yeah? And that line is defined by how good looking the dude is. Because when it's that, that old friend, got the lump, like the growth, the goiter, and they like come up to you, they got a weird walk as well. You know the one. And he's like, I just wrote you this poem because I've always had feelings for you. And you're like, oh my God, that guy's a fucking creep. You know who's not a creep? Tim. He came, the football player? He came over last night. And he's so romantic. He broke in. And he left me a note on the wall in his own blood. It was mostly symbols.
It's fun being called Vittorio Angelone doing stand-up. There's often a compere at comedy clubs and they welcome all the acts to the stage. And I do that job quite a lot. And I always take extra special care to make sure I pronounce everyone's name correctly. I think that's the kind thing to do. I'm not afforded the same kindness by my colleagues. They fuck it up so much that I've had to pre-record me welcoming me to the stage for the start of the show because I don't trust anyone anymore. Welcome to the stage, Vittorio Angelone. It's not that hard. One time a guy went, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Vittorio Angelone. Which isn't right. It's not my favorite. One time a guy went, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Vincenzo Alabaluzzi. Which isn't a name in any language. I Googled it, there's no Alabaluzzis anywhere. But neither of those are my favorite. My favorite is a guy who brought me to the stage, tried to pronounce my name, and gave up in the middle. Because he went, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Valentino, Which I thought was quite honest of him on some level. I kind of appreciated it. I didn't get called Vittorio growing up in primary school. Belfast's a very good place for nicknames. I had a nickname in primary school because in primary school, I had a lot of struggles with anxiety attacks. Do you know what they called me? Panicking Skywalker. Which is just great bullying. You gotta respect it. That's top level work. It's actually only the third worst nickname I've ever heard from Belfast. Number 2, there was a guy in my class called Donal. And you know when you were younger and your mum used to cut your hair? Not a lot of poor people in, don't worry about it, that's fine. Basically, Donal's mum was doing the buzzer up the back and she accidentally went too high. So she had to give him a full skinhead, like bald. Do you know what we called him for 10 years? Shmuel. You know, like out of the boy in the striped pajamas. That's a bit much for some people in the audience. My primary school was fine with it. Even the teachers in the register were like, Shmuel, here, okay, he's fine. That's true, he's a dentist now. He puts the gold fillings into people's teeth. If you're upset about that joke, I think you're right. I think it's good that you're upset. That's probably a good thing that you're upset. It is funny that you're upset. Because it is number 2 on the list. Number 1's my dad. The worst nickname I've ever heard is my dad. My dad grew up in Belfast, but he is Italian. Do you know what my dad got called in primary school? My dad got called the N-word because he was the darkest person anyone had ever seen. Don't know if you can tell by my face, but he's a white man. Puts my dad in a very strange situation, though, because he got called the N-word for a long portion of his life. So he thinks he can say it. He's like, I'm reclaiming it. I don't think you are, Dad. It's good you're laughing. All your dads think they can say it as well. At least mine has an excuse, you know? No, my dad doesn't think he can say the N-word anymore. It's like my dad's listening to hip-hop, like, she take my money. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing. No, my dad doesn't like hip-hop. I like hip-hop. We have arguments sometimes, me and my dad, but I think he's starting to win the argument because hip-hop confuses me. Every hip-hop song now just seems to have a voicemail in the middle of it. right in the middle of the song. He'll just be like, "Hi, Kendrick, it's your mom. Just leaving you this message to say, keep striving for greatness and always believe." Where's Kendrick Lamar getting all these inspirational voicemails from? You know, if I put my voicemail on a song, do you know what it would sound like? "Oh, fuck, sorry." And that's all they ever are. You can't make hip-hop out of that, unfortunately. I do admire racists in Northern Ireland. It's good to have heroes, no? I just admire people that have tough jobs. That's a tough job. Being a racist in Northern Ireland, it's such a white place that they have nowhere to put their racism. So they saw my slightly tan dad and were like, "That'll do, we're in, we're doing it." It's such a white... Northern Ireland is such a white place. And people don't believe me. It fucking is. It's... Just ask Liam Neeson. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, Liam Neeson, on TV, in an interview, decided to tell a little story. He told the story about how his friend had been assaulted by a black man in Northern Ireland. And in his very Liam Neeson way, he went, "So I got a bat. And I walked through the streets of Northern Ireland for 2 weeks trying to find some black bastard to beat the shit out of." Liam Neeson tried to find a black guy to beat up for 2 weeks and couldn't. That's incredible. And he just ran out of racism. After 2 weeks, he was like, "They're fine, I guess." Because he had no one to be racist to. And I think that's the solution to racism. Just get rid of them. No, you can't clap that, actually. Please don't.
Losing someone is always hard, but do you know when it's the hardest? When it's your fault. Okay, so music has always been a big part of my life. Festivals, parties, Shazam. I've never taken music seriously. And then last year, thank you so much, I'll probably have to do that bit again, I reckon. And there's a track playing, so I reckon let's start that bit again. Thank you. No, we won't go for a piss. Not until he's doing a really important bit that's quiet. That's really... Okay, good. You ever seen someone have a meltdown before? Right. When she started leaving. No. Please. Number one only, please. Do we need to wait for her? No, guess not. Never have felt so watched and yet so alone. All right, let's do the bit. I'm going to talk about loss for a little while. Losing someone is always hard, but do you know when it's the hardest? When it's your fault. So music's always been a big part of my life. Festivals, parties, Shazam. But I've never taken music seriously. And then last year, 2 things changed my life. I got AirPods. Those are the 2 things. I knew I shouldn't have got them. I knew they were expensive and disposable. And I knew that the people making them were throwing themselves off the roof of the factory. But I thought, they'd already made them by then, so why not? I got them for myself, but my God, these AirPods, they brought me closer to other people. All of a sudden, I'm not doing the dishes on my own because I'm listening to his right-wing podcasts. I'm not on the toilet on my own because I'm on FaceTime with my dad. Careless, maybe. Wireless, absolutely. I could do anything, I could be anything, you know? I'm at a comedy show and I'm laughing away, but I'm not laughing at the comedian on stage. I'm listening to my set from yesterday.
Two things change my life. My AirPods. Those are the two things.
Oh, that should have got more. And then one day I'm looking for the AirPods and they're gone. They're nowhere to be seen. I'm wireless-less. I've got to go out onto the street and see other people wearing AirPods. I see this guy and I say to him, lad, you look after those. One day they'll be gone. But he doesn't listen to me. The noise cancelling is excellent on those things. It really is. It really is. You see a guy on the bus and he's playing music through his speaker. I know it's annoying, but be kind to that man. He's grieving. He's lost 2 friends. Maybe the reason that people threw themselves off the roof of the factory, it wasn't working conditions. It's because they had to say goodbye to AirPods every single day. I think AirPods can change anyone's life, man. I really do. You know, maybe if Hitler had had a pair, maybe he wouldn't have killed himself.
It is difficult though, being middle-aged, because people like look up to you. I mean, look, you're all in a room staring at me. I've got lights on me. What an awesome responsibility that is. That's what my life is like. Just generally, people come to me, they think I'm a proper person, and they expect guidance and leadership from me. I had a young friend of mine came round during the pandemic. It's a young friend. He's 22. It's not a Schofield thing. It's like it's not weird or ill-advised. Well, he is slightly ill-advised. He's an arsehole. But he came round and he was very upset about the Black Lives Matter thing. Like, he was upset for the same reason as they were. It's not a horrible story. And he was like, Garrett, are you coming on the march tomorrow? And I was like, no. And he was like, why not? And I was like, because I'm middle-aged and I've done my marching, did the Iraq War one and all that, and take some sunscreen and a picnic and brace yourself for a harsh lesson in exactly what marching achieves, but have a nice day out. And he said, you've got to come. And I said, why? And he said, you've got to. What else are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing DIY. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I'm trying to work out how to get Artex off my dining room ceiling. And he said, what's Artex? I said, never mind about that, mate. You'll find out soon enough. And he said, Garrett, you have to come. I said, why? He said, because there are people in Britain living with historic crimes that have been done in the places they live, the ramifications of which they're living with to this very day, and they are angry and they want change. And I said, you said you didn't know what Artex was.
Thank you very much. Best joke in the show, that. Absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry, young man. That joke is only actually available to be enjoyed by people over the age of 35. But at some point in the future, you will be renovating a property that some shyster has convinced you into buying, and you'll stare up at a ceiling and you'll go, oh, yeah. That show was fantastic. It really, I must watch it on YouTube again. Or, oh, actually, no, I'll go on iTunes and give him $7.99. Because this really, that's very good. I wish he was more active on social media so I could tell him. But until that day, you will not be able to get whatever your dad paid for the ticket price value out of the thing. But yeah, it's just very difficult to know how to just fucking navigate things at the moment. And as a middle-aged, as a middle-aged person, like, as I said, like, young people really fuck me off. And one of the things now about being a dad, I'm a dad, and I've got a daughter, and I'm like, right, I've got to raise a daughter, and she's a young woman, she was born in 2021, and I'm like, right, I need to be a role model. And I was actually, fuck it, I don't need to be a role model, because there are so many fucking brilliant women all over the world that she can look up to. Like, what? I'm a fat old guy, I'm the patriarchy, what does she want with me? I'm like, no, she doesn't need to look up to me, there are other people she can, there are so many, I'm sorry, girls, I'm going to say something terrible now, and I have to apologise to you all, because basically I used to be one of those people when, like, over the last 5 to 7 years, when you were all going on about the patriarchy, I mean, arguably a little bit too much, I was one of those. I used to just think you were like my friend Pete, who has 3 points and then starts talking about how lizards run banks. And when you're all there just going, you're an evil patriarchy in charge of everything. And I was like, well, I didn't get my fucking invite, and neither did the bin men. What the fuck are you talking about? And then I got it. I understood it. And it took the birth of my daughter. And I'm sorry, I was one of those pricks for a long time. And now I'm going to apologise. Like, now I've got a daughter, I understand. But I get it now, because every time I see an amazing woman try and do something incredible, I just see this grey hand of the patriarchy just come up and try and fucking tear her down. And fellas, we gotta stop! We gotta stop! Enough is enough! We had our go, and we fucked it! Okay? It's their turn, right? They haven't had a go yet. We've been hogging the controller, and we haven't even been able to complete a level. And they're sat there going, give us a go on the controller. And we're like, in a minute, I just need to try this bit. In a minute, I just need to try this bit. Give them the controller, it's their go. Am I right, ladies? Yes, so many brilliant women doing incredible things. Liz Truss, Suella Braverman, Nadine Dorries. Incredible women, get out of their way, let them do whatever they like. Yas Queen sisters.
I really enjoy performing that bit.
I tell you what, there is a woman, genuinely, I have come around on. I've seen the light on. There's someone I used to really despise, Greta. Not because she's a woman, but because she's a child. And when she was precociously showing up and going, yeah, there's a global emissions, you're like, oh, piss off. Precocious little... But I've come round on Greta, I really have. She was on the One Show recently, which was great. And... it was really good, and she said that her entire goal is the destruction of Western civilization. And I was like, that's interesting, because that brings your entire goal in line with the entire goal of ISIS. Now, my problem with that is not that's her goal. My problem with that is, why aren't ISIS allowed on the One Show? I'd watch it if they were. That'd be a cracking piece of telly. And then she said, all of my detractors are straight white men. And I was like, oh, fuck. Us again. So I got on the straight white men's WhatsApp group. And I said, fellas, who's been doing this? We cannot afford this. We have had absolutely rancid PR for the last few years. We cannot be having a pop at Greta. What's going on? And then Dave came back, and we were all like, yeah, Dave, I know we've been smashing it for millennia, fire, the wheel, the entire economy, but that's not relevant now, Dave. We've got to find out who's been having a pop at Greta, and we've got to stop it. Lads did a bit of research. Turns out, not us. Phew. Turns out most of her detractors are, in fact, Chinese. Now, you're all very uncomfortable. And you shouldn't be, because I am a professional of some standing. And I'm here to tell you that is an excellent joke. It's based on fact. It's got a nice curve to it. Comes back. It's got an unexpected thing. But you all went, I heard your rectums go, because you were like, I was all right with Death Bear, but where the fuck's he going with this? Because you, like most people in Western civilization, have completely lost your ability to differentiate between racism and xenophobia. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through that now so you can properly enjoy the next 7 minutes of the show. Okay, great. Okay, racism is an evil scourge which needs to be eradicated from the planet and has no place in a society that calls itself civilized. We good? Good. Xenophobia is often fair enough. Okay? If you're not shite scared of China, you're not reading enough.
I'll say this, I like doing small shows like this. This is a lot of fun. Lavery's Comedy Club right in the centre of Belfast. I love this. Distinct lack of security presence. That's one thing I quite like about the big shows. Men in high-vis jackets at the front of the stage. Comedians nowadays on edge. You don't know what's going to happen. To the point where, I might need just people to sort of work for... what's your name, mate? Cameron, you're working tonight, so that's your flank, you know what I mean? That's your side. Remember the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing? I need you to just keep your head up. Like you're in the city centre and there's a wee rap man about to nod your feet. What do you do? What do you work at, Con?
I'm a restaurant manager.
You're a restaurant manager? What's the restaurant? McDonald's? Guys, I've got this. When you say Restaurant manager. I'm assuming you're pouring wine like this. Does it taste? You actually said restaurant. You didn't pronounce the T. You're not loving it right now.
Got dyspraxia, for those of you trying to diagnose me. I can feel it. Oh, is it autism? No, it's fucking not, thank you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just to be clear. It's just they are making eye contact, they're just far fucking back. Dyspraxia, if you don't know, it's a condition, right? It affects like my spatial awareness, my coordination. It's tough over the pandemic, very hard to social distance when you're dyspraxic. Do you know what I fucking mean, lad? Thanks for coming, man. Thank you very much. It is, man. Like, how does anyone judge 2 meters? How are you doing that? How do you... I just use my knob. No one comes near me when it's out. It's tiny. I went to a specialist school for kids with tiny knobs. It was just me and a load of cherubs. We all had little mini ones, even the teachers, which did make us feel better, but really they shouldn't have been showing us. No, I went to a specialist school. It was called the University of Salford. No, no, I went to a high school, right? Specialist high school for kids with dyspraxia or dyslexia. It was called a Hume Hall. We got any fellow Hume Hallers in, by any chance? Give me a... No Hume Hallers in now? Of course not, all outside shouting at pigeons. That's my bread! When I was 11, I had to go for like an interview at Hume Hall, see if I was appropriate. And I was nervous, but I turned up, they took one look at me, they said, "You're fucking perfect, lad." That is exactly what we're fucking after. Getting in now. Keith, come and have a look at this. We found the one. He's fucking perfect. You're not gonna believe it, mate. He looks just like your drawing. Get him on the front of the prospectus. This place is amazing. They give you beer. It was a good school, though. It was a good school. It was. We had our own dance troupe. Yeah, they were called Neurodiversity. They were bad. They were not good dancers. That was just us walking, like we weren't got out for it, man. I always liked performing, though. As a kid, all I wanted to do was this. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. But you can't do stand-up when you're a kid. I did the next best thing. I was a magician. A dyspraxic magician. Slow of hand. My shows, they were a roller coaster. You'd watch me pull a rabbit out of a hat, you'd be like, wow, he's done it. And then I'd accidentally break the rabbit's neck, and there's only so many you can bury before you begin to blame yourself. It's very, very sad. It's hard to know what job you're going to do when you're dyspraxic. As a kid, I remember that advert. Do you remember that advert? You know the, you could be a Royal Marine! Do you remember that? You remember that? You know that, you could be a Royal Marine! You remember that? I remember watching that like, oh, wow, could I now? Oh yeah, you reckon? I could be a Royal Marine, fucking this! I was buzzing, I couldn't believe it. I was like, Mummy, I'm going to war! I hope they serve bees. I don't think the Royal Marines want dyspraxics. Like, you don't hear that in the adverts, do you? If you can drop a phone, you can drop a bomb. I don't think I'm what they're after. I don't think I'm cut out for war. I feel like no matter how hard I tried, I'd end up doing the wrong thing. You know, like, if I was one of the 9/11 hijackers, I'd end up landing the plane. Sorry, lads, I could not do that again if I tried. How did I do that? That was pretty impressive though, wasn't it? Jesus Christ! All the American passengers are clapping. I wish I knew how to clap. I don't know. They worked out to get gay men in the army though. Remember that? Don't ask, don't tell. We won't ask you if you're gay. You don't tell us if you are. Sorted. That doesn't quite work with dyspraxics, does it? Imagine, I'm there, licking a landmine. Like, Tiernan, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm not allowed to say. But I'd get back if I was you. I'm interested in the army though. I find it fascinating. I found out about this thing called stolen valor. Stolen valor, it's basically where someone pretends they've served in the army and they haven't really. Like, they'll go around wearing like fake medals or military garments, and then someone who was in the army sees them and they can tell that they're not the real deal. So they start filming them and asking them questions, trying to catch them out. And like, they get so angry in these videos. I always think they're overreacting. At the end of the day, it's just someone wearing your old work uniform. I used to work at KFC. I saw a guy on the train wearing a KFC cap. I didn't go and confront him. You all right, mate? Nice cap. Really nice suit, shit. Which branch did you serve at? Name all 11 secret herbs and spices. Name them! You're a fraud! I'm calling the colonel. I didn't fucking... didn't do that. What's your name, little fella? Callum? Are you little, or is that just the energy you give off? How tall are you?
5'10".
You scrawny little bastard. Same height as me. Do you like baked beans?
I don't mind them.
You don't mind them? Next time you eat baked beans, you're going to think of me. You are. Outside, banging on the window, give me some beans, Cali boy! Insurance. Nice one. Last job before before comedy, I worked in a primary school. I was a lunchtime supervisor. I'm not making this up. I was a fucking dinner lady. It was heartbreaking. I wanted to be a Royal Marine. And there was a dinner lady. I was 25. 25. That's like 11. And dinner lady, yes. It was a big step up for me, that job. It was a huge step because before that job I worked at KFC. Let me tell you now, supervising a child, very different to supervising a chicken burger. It is. You mess a child up, you can't just hide it and eat it on your break. You can't get away with it anymore. You can't. Ofsted don't like it when you do that. It was weird going for a job interview during the pandemic. The woman interviewing me, she was like, I won't be doing handshakes. So I hugged her, give me the fucking job. And got the fucking job, mate. I did what it took. Straight in. Her name was Maggie, right? Maggie was the head dinner lady. And she was fucking terrifying. Maggie should have been in the Royal Marines. Nothing would get past this woman. Once we were clearing up the canteen, all the kids are playing outside. They finished their lunch. Maggie finds a full sandwich hidden underneath one of the tables. What would you have done, Callum? Have you been listening? Hello? You've been thinking about your bit, haven't you? Should have lied about my height. Fuck! Will he really break into my garden? Yes, I fucking will! Full sandwich hidden underneath one of the tables. All the kids are playing outside. What would you have done, Callum?
Eat the sandwich.
Eating it? What the fuck? A child's lunch. You're like the opposite of Marcus Rashford. Maggie starts looking for clues, right? She picks the sandwich up and she sniffs it. That's gluten-free bread. Dylan Lewis, year 6. Bring him in. I'm stood there like, what the fuck is going on? Maggie's about to waterboard an 11-year-old celiac. What is happening? This is crazy.
I feel very lucky nowadays. I've got really lovely friends. And I feel very, very lucky for that. Because I grew up without many friends at all, really. I found making friends at school very, very difficult. And I think it's because I was hiding who I was. I couldn't really be myself. I was always on edge. I was worried that people were going to find out something about me. So I never really had any mates. But don't worry, there's not been any sort of lasting damage. It's not like I've got to go on stage 5 times a week to make strangers laugh, to make me feel full. It's not like that. It's not like that. Once a week, it's not like that. You don't need to worry. There was one girl at school that picked on me every single day. She picked on me every day. Now, I mentioned before, I know I'm not a super famous person, I've got a low level of fame, but occasionally I pop up on the telly. And every single time I pop up on the telly, this girl that picked on me the whole way through school slides into my DMs. Like, oh, hi, Suze, how are you doing? Great to see how well you're doing. I saw you on Mastermind last night. Well done. Oh, my God, next time you're in Portsmouth, me and you, we should go for a drink. Like, yeah, we should. It'll be arsenic. She was horrible to me. But now, because she's started following me, I've started following her. And apparently when you follow someone you don't like, it's called hate following. Everyone that's just laughed are the bitches in the room. They've just really outed themselves. Hey, that one that clapped is the queen bitch. No, don't worry, I'm not knocking you, I'm doing it too, okay? It's not big, it's not clever, okay? But it means when you just go on their page occasionally, just to go, I fucking hate you. Done up your lounge, have you? Grey, is it? Living, laughing, loving. Are ya? Sailing Dunelm. Was there? You know. Bitchy. But I've now become slightly obsessed by her life. It's not grown up. This isn't a suggestion. Don't do this. I'm just telling you what I've done. A lot of her posts are about her husband, about how wonderful he is. She's got this wonderful husband. And it's not because they're straight. Like, I love straight people. You heard that before. Mum and Dad are straight. I love straight people. And honestly, some of my best friends are bisexual, so I do love straight people. But she'll put on these pictures of her husband, all in black and white, being like, he's the salt to my pepper. He's the bread to my butter. He's my light in the darkness. He's my husband. And I know it's not going as well as she's pretending, because I know that last year in Ibiza she gave a waiter a blowy. So I know it's not going as well as she's pretending. Sure, I shouldn't have written underneath, but she shouldn't have started the nickname Rough Muff while I was still a virgin. We learn, don't we? We learn, Lacey. I shouldn't say her name, we're recording this. Can't like that. I obviously didn't write it underneath. I'm not that brave. I did the classy thing. I screen grabbed it and popped it in a WhatsApp group. I did the classy thing. But she constantly tries to virtue signal. Now, I'm not talking about people sharing important information that we all need to learn about. She is constantly wanting to tell people that she is a good person, because she is the devil. She's constantly trying to tell people that she's a great person. One of the ways that she does this, and I've got to be very careful with this material because my audience are always lovely people, so I mean it with love. But she needs to let everyone know that her pets are from a rescue centre. I'm just going to say one thing. Once you've rescued your dog, it's just your fucking dog. You don't need to refer to it as a rescue dog. It's just a dog. It's your dog now. You've rescued it. Well done. We're all very proud. She does the same about her cats. Look at my cats. Look at my adopted cats. Look at my little adopted cats. I adopted all of them. If I hadn't adopted these cats, they'll be out on the Edgware Road turning tricks. Look, I adopted these cats. All cats are adopted. Even if you paid for your cat, you adopted your fucking cat. No one is birthing cats. No one's having a litter of cats. If you are, leave this show, go to the Natural History Museum, it's just down the road. But virtue signalling isn't the worst of social media. I saw some of the worst of social media a little while ago, and this bit's quite awkward because it was from a family member. Now, my mum's asked me not to do this bit, but we're here, she's not, fuck it. I've got a cousin called Danny, he's a conspiracy theorist, and he is deep in QAnon stuff. He thinks that Donald Trump is still the president. He also has started believing that the world is flat. This all began for him during the pandemic. He was very, very, very anti-vax. From the get-go, he was very, very anti-vax. Now, I was very pro-vax. I'm not interested in other people's statuses. I'm just letting you know I was very, very, very pro-vax. So I was willing to believe, that doctors, nurses, immunologists, people who spent their whole lives studying medicine knew more than me. Me, who has 4 GCSEs, a worry doll, and an AS level in contemporary dance. It's useless! Can't go into a vaccine centre and go, this is all very well, but have you tried this? You have? Please, continue. I was bang up for the vaccine. I was first in the queue. Well, I wasn't first. I wasn't first. He wasn't like, fuck off, therefore you've had your time. No, I thought... When they called me, I went, that's what I'm saying. When they called me, I went. I went down to the vaccine centre. So we still lived in South London. I went to Lewisham, had my jab, and the next day I put it up on Facebook. I said, look, if you're worried about going, I went to Lewisham. It was great. It was so well organised. All the volunteers were fantastic. The doctors and the nurses there, brilliant. It was all very, very safe. It was distanced. Everyone was masked up. I've got my jab. I feel absolutely fine. You know, thank God for science. And I don't know if that's an oxymoron. But here we are. And I posted it and Danny got in touch. The thing is, Suze, all in caps, the thing is, Suze, do you know what's in it? Do you know what's in it? And I was like, no. But I don't know what's in any medicine I've ever had. Because I don't know most things. Don't come to me for the answers, I ain't got them. I don't know how I'm talking into this. and it's coming out of that. Don't understand that. Don't know how the internet's. Through the air, what is this witchcraft? I don't know how the telly gets on the telly. When I'm on the telly, I look at it and go, how'd you get in there? I don't understand it. I don't know how them lights are working. I don't know how those lights are working. I know that for an afternoon in primary school, the teacher gave us a potato and a fork and it charged a battery. So I can only assume hidden round the room, there's a load of Jackie P's keeping these boys on. I understand it. Danny was one of those people that was doing his own research. He was doing his own research. I'm doing my own research, Suze, I'm doing my own research. Thought, fucking hell, I can't wait to find out what a part-time scaffolder with a cocaine problem in a basement flat in Portsmouth finds out that the World Health Organisation has missed. But as soon as you got your data, drop me a text, you dozy prick. People are awful on the internet. People are terrible on the internet. A little while ago, a man got in touch with me to send me 14 pictures of his penis. I'll say the thing we're all thinking. 14's a weird number. To me, that feels like a shoot. You know, we've taken these pictures, we're taking them to the client for their opinion. My opinion, no, I don't love it. Not for me. Not for me. Now, I don't know much about willies. I don't have much experience with willies. I was straight for a month when I was 18. I haven't got the wrists. But is it fair to say, people that are au fait with the cock of van, is it fair to say that the happier a penis is, ooh, the more furious it looks? Is it fair to say that? Oh, it was happy, but it looked cross. It looked really cross. Just staring at me through the laptop like that. And so I put on some women's drawers, some like frilly knickers, right? I thought, that's fine, you know, if you want to do that, go for it, mate, but I don't need to see it. But then what he did was he popped his angry pork sword out the side of it, then just draped the lace over the top. It looked like an old lady looking around some net curtains. Just... That image will stay with you, I am ever so sorry. My dad referred to that bit as a bit much, which I think we can all agree is quite fair. I scrolled down, I realised he'd sent me a message as well. I thought, oh, an artist and a writer, what a coup. He said, hi, Suze, which I thought was a very casual way to start an online harassment. I hope you like these photos, if not, no wuzzers. So cash, some wuzzers, you fucking creepy bastard. Some wuzzers. Some wuzzers. So many wuzzers, mate. So many wuzzers. But then what happened is that he must have been able to see that I had seen it. It must have seen underneath. And then he logged on and he sent me a little thumbs up. And I'm going to tell you, Bloomsbury, to me, that was the creepiest bit. Because that tells me he has done that and then had no shame. There are people walking through this life. No shame. I think that is terrifying. I have got so much shame. I've got so much shame, and I have never sent anyone a picture of a Jack and Danny. Okay, I don't even know how you get the angles. I've got so much shame. I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes with shame. I call it my 3 a.m. press conference. It's when all the voices in my head meet up at the same time to go, you're a prick, and just remind me of something embarrassing I've done throughout my life. Woke me up the other day with an online embarrassment that I did years ago. About 8 years ago, I had a terrible breakup. It was really bad, right? And I don't want to be one of those comedians that's like, let me tell you how it is, let me tell you. But let me tell you, I was doing hashtag self-care before we all knew about self-care. Okay, I was a very early adopter of the self-care movement. I'd been dumped, and I decided the best thing to do would be for me to drink a bottle of red, smoke a pack of fags, and do a deep dive onto her Facebook for her and the boy she left me for. Self-care, okay? And I'm just going through the pictures. Just... Oh, it's clearer. And in my drunkenness, I accidentally tagged myself in a picture of her and her new boyfriend as the candle on the table. Like I was Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, just hey! Remember me? You've ruined my life. I'm still having shame shudders about that, and he's sending people pictures of his dick and then a thumbs up. It worries me. It worries me about the fact that one day my daughter will be old enough to have a social media account. And it might not be all the ones that we're using at the minute, but there'll probably be something. And it worries me. It really frightens me. I am so relieved that when I was growing up, I didn't have to contend with social media. I had such a tough time all day at school. If I then had to go home and worry about how much likes a photo got, I think I would have lost my mind. I really think I would have lost my mind because I wasn't cool at school. Never got a gasp, done the show 75 times. Thanks, Bloomsbury. And I wasn't cool. I wasn't cool at school, but I did do one cool thing. I did one cool thing. I went to see Destiny's Child. Oh, not such a loser now, am I? Mum got me tickets to see Destiny's Child for me and my one friend. When she gave them to me, she said, "Suze, this is your first present, your second present. Tonight, after school, I'm taking you to Tammy Girl and you can have whatever you want." Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, to wear to the concert, right? I saw it across the room as soon as I entered. Now, this will make sense to maybe 7 people, but this is really for you. Okay, the Survivor video had just come out, so I knew I needed denim. Okay. You remember. I saw it across the room. Denim, catsuit. With a zip all the way up the front, okay? My titties were even smaller than they are now, so it was just rib. Just some lovely rib, okay? Mum said to me, "Suze, don't wear that. Don't wear that. Save it for best. Save it for the concert." So I went upstairs, save it for best. The trouble was, my birthday's in January. The concert was in August, right? 8 months rolls round. I had a teenage growth spurt. The night before, Mum says, "Go and put it on, let's see how you look." It had divorced my ankles, married my knees, and I had a camel toe that was catching in the back of my throat, okay? Right? Denim is an unforgiving fabric, let me tell you. My mother in her infinite wisdom said, don't you worry, my baby. I have got some brown leather fringing upstairs. I'll just pop that round the bottom. I went to Wembley looking like a Shire horse. A Shire horse with a camel toe. Do you know how relieved I am I didn't have to try and get likes on that photo?
So I was in an airport, and it was Abu Dhabi airport, and I was on my way out of the airport, and when I was on my way out, an Abu Dhabi security guard pointed at me and went, "You come here." Obviously not in my accent, in the Abu Dhabi accent. I'm not going to do the Abu Dhabi accent. Also, it'd be a difficult impersonation to do because we don't really know that much about Abu Dhabi. Like, all we tend to know is it's a corrupt regime and the difference between rich and poor is huge. So I'll just make him English. So the Abu Dhabi security guard pointed at me and went, "You come here." "Hop along, old boy, gonna search your bags, don't mind if I do." And he opened up my suitcase and he took out a bottle of CBD oil. CBD oil, if you don't know, part of a marijuana plant, but it's legal here because it's not the fun bit of the plant. But the way they see it in Abu Dhabi is very different. He went, "Oh dear. Drugs." And I couldn't deny it was drugs because the label had a picture of a dog wearing sunglasses. And at this point, I'm shitting myself because we also know about Abu Dhabi, not very lenient. And the other thing I thought was like, oh my God, because I felt so embarrassed because I thought of all the things to go to jail for in Abu Dhabi. CBD oil. What made it worse, right? It was vape liquid. So uncool, right? I smoke e-cigarettes and I think I'm a fanny. I'd rather get 50 years for having cigarettes on me that were illegal, because at least it'd be a bit sexy, you know. I think cigarettes are cool, man. You can chat somebody out of a cigarette. You can be like, hey, have you got a lighter? What can you do with an e-cigarette? Do you like the smell of custard? When the Abu Dhabi security guard took the bottle of CBD aside, I'm now thinking, uh-oh, what else is in my suitcase that's illegal? Because I know that that's illegal. I know that I'm illegal. It's the first time in my life I've ever been worried that I packed a twink. And then he took out PrEP pills. Right, PrEP pills, if you don't know, right, a couple of people know what they are, right? PrEP pills are pills that you can take that stop you from contracting HIV. Oh, I love telling straight people. Because they might not say anything, but you can see it in their eyes. They're going, are you telling me the gays defeated God? It's amazing. You feel so arrogant during sex, couple of pills before, looking at the ceiling going, yeah, God, your ill isn't going to work on us anymore. Sorry, Satan, we'll be late. All you need to do is you take 2 pills 1 hour before you have sex, which is a long time to wait in the park, but we're working on that. I find it so weird that people haven't heard about PrEP pills. Like, it's kind of most gay people know about them now, but most of my straight mates only know about like HIV stuff from like films, like Philadelphia usually. Like, if you've not seen Philadelphia though, definitely watch it. It's fucking brilliant. It's an amazing film. It's got Tom Hanks in it, so you know it's good. And anything with Tom Hanks, you always think, yeah, safe pair of hands there, yeah. And it's an American courtroom drama, so you know it's good as well. Because if it's American court, it's cool. If it's British court, it's not cool. Like, Americans are so much better at portraying court stuff, like, because they make their lawyers seem really cool. American lawyers can wear cowboy hats, snazzy suits, going up to the jury, being like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I think we're going to have to listen to the judge on this one. Above all that, we got to listen to Jesus. Or you can get that young, aggressive lawyer being like, hey, Your Honor, I object. Yeah. And he did that teeth thing Americans do. Yeah. Like, American teeth are so straight and white, it's where their mouth was a Brexit voter. Is nothing like American court, right? Our lawyers, they don't wear cowboy hats, obviously. They wear wigs, which I don't understand anyway, because you're making them look stupid. Surely if you think the person's committed the crime, make them look stupid. Surely we should make them wear a wig. We wouldn't need all this MI5 database stuff. You know what I mean? Like, oh, who's the paedophile in your area? Oh, the guy in the pink afro. And what about the blue afro? Oh, that's the terrorist. Yeah. Much better way of working it. And our lawyers, they don't wear snazzy suits. Our lawyers wear gowns, and they don't even say, Your Honour, right? They say, My Lord. Which makes every crime in UK court sound as if it was just a wee bit naughty. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, he murdered everybody. I don't know what we're going to do with him, my Lord.
May I approach the bench? My lord, if I was you, I'd find the defendant sexy. Sentence him to 10 minutes inside me. Don't worry, you'll only serve 5. Especially for bad behaviour. I was like, why are you taking my prep pose? And the Abu Dhabi security guard was like, oh, well, HIV is illegal in Abu Dhabi. And I was like, first of all, I'm thinking, HIV is illegal in Abu Dhabi? I'm like, who's smuggling AIDS? If there's one thing you just wouldn't hide up your bum. And when he put my prep pose aside, right, I'm thinking, oh, is there anything else in my suitcase? He didn't look for the rest of it. He just went, go into that room over there. So I went into the room over there. And it was a big, long room with lots of different cubicles in it, but none of the cubicles had toilets in them, just handprints on the wall. You had exactly the same perception I had at that moment. If you go into a room and there's painted handprints on the wall, there's only 2 places you can be. Either bum search area or a nursery.